Well, that was an interesting couple of days, Razor, as Boston Bruins continue their homestand. And you want to talk about two incredibly different games, one on Saturday afternoon, one on Sunday evening. I mean, complete ends of the spectrum type games, but doesn't really matter. They're both W's, right? When it's all said and done. Welcome into Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. We're sitting down and chatting about this one. Actually, Sunday evening, we found a couple of minutes while the Pats are in the intermission and halftime. So we're going to get a quick brew in here because the Bruins deserve it, I think, here. Would you not agree, my friend?
Oh, they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it. Great start.
And Razor's happy, too. He's very happy because his Bills won.
Bills won. Bills are through. We could get a Bills-Pats next weekend, which would be electric.
Well, you wouldn't be torn. You would not be torn.
Oh, no. There's no torn at all. Yeah. Not even close.
In case you're new to Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor, Razor is a diehard Buffalo Bills fan.
The house will be torn. We got a house full of Patriots fans, and then
I know. Yes,
Decky's kind of on one. He's kind of Bills. He's being antagonistic to his older brother, but everybody else.
So you have a conflict when it comes to USA Canada hockey in the house.
That's right. Yes,
you have some conflict when it comes to Patriots Bills.
Yep.
You'll go Patriots over anybody except when they play the Bills.
Correct. Yes, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
So at some point, yes, once the Bills are out, then I can cheer for the Pats. So there you go.
You have a lot of family interest in the Patriots for, business.
We do. My wife's the Foxborough.
Yeah, your wife's from connection. There. So interesting. You are a risk taker.
Yes, that's right. Loyal.
And you are loyal. Yes, you are. So we did a show on Saturday morning as we normally do on EEI. Then we send it out, and we're talking about the importance of Saturday's game against a team that they should beat. We both said they should beat them. Nothing against the Rangers, but where they're at with regard to just how they're playing, despite having a phenomenal Winter Classic game where they showed up, their health in the last week and a half has gone down the crapper. And losing Adam Fox, losing Igor Shesterkin, arguably top 3 goalie in the National Hockey League. Bruins get down a minute and a half into the game and then show no mercy as they roar back and absolutely steamroll a team 10-2. Have you ever played in an NHL game, whether winning side or losing side? I guess I would say the lowest would be like 7-0. Have you ever lost by like more than 7, 8, 9 goals? In the NHL?
I know we were talking about today. I definitely gave up 7 or 8 in Ottawa one day, but I don't think it was like 7-1. I want to say it was like 7-2, 7-3. It was one of those weeks where the team none of us were playing well. I think I got yanked early, like a couple days earlier, a week earlier. And it was one of those ones where coach comes in and you want to come out and it's like, no, I can't leave the game twice in a week and a half. So you get drilled for 7 or 8 in Ottawa. And then we beat the Bruins when I was in Toronto, we beat the Bruins with 10 goals in Boston in like 06, 07. So I was part of a winning team that won 10.
Okay. So you're part of a winning team like the Bruins were.
Yep.
Husnadina 4, Pavel Zacha 3. 7 of the 10 goals, unbelievable, right? Between those two guys.
Crazy.
But the mindset going from 10 goals to then having to play the next day, we always talk about parking a bad game. Get rid of it, move on to the next one, right? Next best thing is to play. How hard is it though to park that type of game? Not that I wouldn't think any one guy would be driving into the rink saying, "Oh, we scored 10, we'll be fine tonight."
Yeah.
But it just is this internal thing. I wonder if you have to battle it, especially knowing that you're playing a team with a very different style, at least appeared to me as capabilities in the Pittsburgh Penguins compared to the Rangers.
Yeah, for sure. And you can also overcompensate, and that gets in your head as well because you'll be like, well, we know we're not scoring 10, so maybe we're going to get, a shutout. And you start just kind of overthinking. It's just like one of those weird games where you do have to park it. And I thought the Bruins did an extremely good job of that on Sunday night. Really, really good job of being that's a winning team, right? Like that's exactly what you would expect a Boston Bruin team to do. When it was led by Bergeron and Krejci and Marchand, they would go out and win the next one 1-0, just to prove a point that they could do it that way. And that's what I loved so much about the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, I mean, you had really some wide open spaces the Bruins created against the Rangers. I thought the Bruins forecheck against the Rangers, their reloading was phenomenal early on. The way that they attacked. And they scored goals many different ways. We talked about that in our show, and I know you did in the game as well, and Brick talked about it as well. But the way that the Bruins then turned to the grind and turned to blocking shots and turned to making the smart plays, because they didn't have nearly the amount of room, obviously, as they did against the New York Rangers. It's impressive, and I think they got to feel pretty damn good coming out this weekend now, saying, "Hey, all right, we had some fun. We showed that we could score." I mean, they didn't think they were going to put up 10. They would have been happy putting up 4, right? But they just, all of a sudden, the explosion, they went with it. I don't feel like they were showboating at all, partner. I thought they were just going out and kicking some ass. They were playing good hockey. Hustadinov was scoring on breakaways, tipping pucks. Zaka showing off that great shot of his, that goal at the end of the period that barely crossed the line, but good rebound opportunity. Point is this. They had the offense going. In this game, they had the details, I thought, going. And I think on Sunday night, and I thought that to me showed their capabilities in a short period of time to play different styles.
That's right. Great contrast. Great example over 48 hours of doing it, whatever it takes and however it takes. So just a really good weekend to get home and take away all the bad taste of their bad homestand before the holidays right out of everybody's mouth. You win games at home again and get back to that important 2 points. And we talked about both games being 4-point games yesterday morning on the radio, and they came through. They really, not giving up any points was important tonight against Pittsburgh. Not giving that third point up, I thought.
What have you liked? I mean, I love the goals by Hustadinov, and that's going to get all the attention, right? And he actually felt, he says, yeah, I actually missed a couple opportunities. I could have had 5, he thinks, even 6 in that game. But to me, what was equally as impressive was his play in the game on Sunday evening, when just little things, again, reloading the right way, intercepting some passes, getting in on forecheck, plays near the end of the game, getting pucks out, getting them deep into the zone with control, not turning them over. And so as happy as I was, and I guess impressed as I was with what I saw Saturday, again, I go to the detailed comment on Sunday with guys like him. Hey, Fraser Minton on Saturday had 2 goals. On Sunday, he found himself out there a couple, not many, but a couple times against Sidney Crosby, showed good composure. His line, third line, without Geeky there, having Asimon in the lineup, continued to be. I mean, this is the kind of game, or the fact that you didn't really notice Minton that much, I think is an impressive thing. And it's the same vein as these other guys, the Husnadinovs, et cetera. The Yoki Haru, I thought, was really good in Sunday. Aspirot, we'll talk about him in a minute. Again, I keep repeating it, but it was the little things to me that made me happiest getting through this week and driving home from the game Sunday and saying, like, that's what I take out of it. Not they scored 10 goals. It's how they responded Sunday and the things that they did to get the win.
Yeah, you might remember the game it was, but one of the games they lost a little bit earlier in the season, and Marco Sturm talked about, we need the secondary guys to step up in this game. We can't have it David and Geeky and Elias and our power play. We can't have that. It won't happen every night. We need the other guys to step up, and that happened tonight, and they needed that tonight. David got 6 assists last night. The power play has been cooking so well over and over again. These guys played 3 and 4. They spent a lot of energy, plus the travel back, and you needed the bottom of the lineup to jump through, and they did. The fourth line was fantastic all day Sunday. They were the best line by far, especially in the first. Bunch of great chances. They were put in real responsible situations. So So this was another, again, a great job of not relying on the big guys to do all the work tonight and get 60 minutes in.
Yeah, if you didn't get a chance to see the game yet, the Sunday game, the one goal comes off the stick of Arvidsson, who battles in front of the net. Arguably, I don't know if he is the smallest guy on the ice, because I think Blake Lizotte may have been even smaller than him. But, a guy gets his ass in front. I'll tell you that. He takes a lot of hits. He spends some time on the ice down there, but he parks himself in front there. But it was a really good shot from Henry Jokiharju from the right point in the first period. I'm trying to get it was right at the 11-minute mark. Low to high play, Middlestat had got it on the right side, gets the puck back up to the point, and Jokiharju doesn't stop it and shoot it. He one-times it from just inside the blue line, middle right. Victor Arvidsson picks up the puck off the right pad save from Stu Skinner. And then he somehow maneuvers to get to his backhand, and I think did it go off the post and off the back of Skinner's right leg and into the net? It may have, kind of jostled around like that and in. That ends up being the only goal of the game. And then in the first period, the Bruins and Penguins both had 10 shots each. I thought it was actually a pretty, while it wasn't what you'd call exhilarating, crazy up and down, I thought it was a real hard-fought first period. But both teams were probably saying, hey, we were a little loose in that period. I think that's why especially we saw some tighter play in the second and third.
Yeah, certainly exciting and loose in hindsight after watching the second and third periods and how both teams really clamped down. It was a really fun period. Both goalies had to make some saves, Korpisalo for sure. And then the goal is just, like you said, just hardworking. Victor Arvidsson banging away in front, and it goes off the side apron and bounces off a skate. And I mean, the only goal of the game only crossed the line by 3 inches. That's how tightly played it was. Nothing even hit the back of the net tonight. 4th game-winning goal of the season for Victor Arvidsson. And I've said this probably 5 times now in the last 8 shows or something. That line continues to have the most success. Now, they've been the most consistently together line this season. Yep.
But really, they continue to have a major success in between goals for and goals against. And, there was a lot of uncertainty, at least for me, about how that line would be. The move to wing has absolutely been almost a savior, I think, for Middlestat this season. He basically admitted that when I talked to him a long time ago about how he encouraged Marco to put him on left wing because it would help him reset. And he is... I don't even think of him as a center right now, Razor. I just think of him as a winger. He continues to do some good stuff. Arvidsson continues to do as well. And Pavel Zacha, who had a really awesome game against Calgary the other night, but didn't show up offensively on the sheet. But he earned his offensive success. By no means luck, but his success against the Rangers. Again, seeing 3 goals in 3 different ways. And I think he continued to have a really good game tonight, too. He saw a lot of heavy ice time in this game.
He did. When he's got, when you have Crosby or Malkin on those top 2 lines, he's going to see one of those guys almost all night. And they're very good. The line's very good. If we went back to the preseason show and talked about where we'd want points wise from Arvidsson and Middlestat, we'd probably be right around the number we were asking for, hoping for at the start of the season with these guys and the pace that they're on. And then Zacha, I think Zacha's even taken his game to another level, being away from David this season and taking that line on his own. And again, being nice, chipping in with the 3 goals yesterday, but more of the 200-foot game that he had on Sunday.
Do you think he has a 60-point season in him? We haven't seen it yet. Pavel, gets close, right? But if you're talking second line center, you're hoping, Razor, for 60+ points in a perfect world. The most he's had, if I remembered, is 50. Oh, he had 59. I beg your pardon. I thought it was 57 was his highest. My bad. 59 and 23-24. So he can get there. I think he can. I mean, probably not this year, obviously, but last year with 47, I think he can be a 60+ point guy. I don't know about regularly. He seems to be more of a mid-50 guy, which is pretty good. But I think for a big second line center, you'd love 60+.
You would. I think it would also depend on what kind of a winger he has, and if that guy's driving offensively. Because I'm not sure if it's really in Pav's DNA to chase that number. I think
I
he
agree with
is.
you.
Yeah, like he would have to fall into it. It would probably have to be power play heavy for him to go there. Because I just don't think he goes to the scoring areas as much 5-on-5 because he's playing off everyone else.
Yeah, you're right. Looking to be the safety valve, looking to be that guy that makes sure that he supports everybody out there on the line. But I selfishly, I'd love to see him break 60.
And he shoots it as hard. Like the Bruins tried to play him in the bumper last season, right? When the power play wasn't that great. Like I think he can play the bumper, which would up scoring for sure if they decided to move it on the other side at some point.
Be interesting. We've seen Fraser Minton get some bumper time. Could we see Pavel Zacha? That'd be curious if that would happen. It's a good comment, a good thing to think about. Our spark, like I want to do our spark. I don't know if we want to do it at the game. I mean, geez, if you use Saturdays, it's obvious. It's Pasta or Husnudinov or Zacha. If you do Sunday, could it be Korpisalo again?
Yeah, for sure, Korpisalo. Yeah,
what he did, providing a spark. I got to tell you who else I thought was awesome on Sunday. Nikita Zadorov. He played 9.5 minutes against Evgeny Malkin. That was the matchup that Marco and the staff had. They wanted Charlie and Aspirot against Sid.
Yeah.
And they wanted the big Russian against the big Russian, right?
Yes. That's great.
And Evgeny Malkin had not one shot. Forget shot on goal. He didn't have one shot attempt tonight.
Smothered.
And I will say that I thought Zadorov and his partner, Yoki Harju, in this one were really effective at gaps, really effective at stick work, using their stick to close, and did an excellent job numerous times. Yes, it's all about the forward helping out too. But I don't know. I could name him a spark, but we'll give it to Korpisalo. Korpisalo was outstanding. That's 2 in a row now for Jonas, who we talked during the show on Saturday morning. Really needed that game against Calgary. Understatement. Really needed it. There's a narrative out there that he wasn't doing his share, so to speak, right? And you see it in social media. You hear it. I don't know if this calms everything, but these are 2 big games in a row now for Corpy.
It should calm everything. He's back to 500, 8-8. Huge games, and now again we'll go back. The Buffalo one, he didn't play. He didn't play bad in that game. So really, it goes back to the Ottawa game. Now that's long gone. He had a bad night, a bad half of a game. No big deal. Water under the bridge now with his last 3 efforts, and the fact that he got back in there right away is beautiful to come back and now you've got opportunities to play him. You're going to have to play him in the next 3 weeks. Jeremy Swayman's going to continue to play hockey in February. Everyone else isn't. So you're going to have to use Korpisalo here in the next 3 weeks more than you have in the last 3 weeks.
I know we do this probably too much. And I don't want to say I apologize for it, but it's just part of, I guess, what we need to do. You understand, not you personally, but that you're going to see Swayman on Tuesday for sure against Detroit.
Yeah.
My guess is for the Thursday game.
You will too, Thursday.
You see, because of the Chara night.
That's a big game, yeah.
It's a big game, right, for the organization, as you've talked about. These type of moments, these amazing watershed or major organizational moments need the top players to play in it.
Yeah.
And then I would guess Korpisalo gets the ice on Saturday night in Chicago. Just to guess. They got 2-game road. He's gonna play one of the 2. It's the siblings trip on that Chicago and Dallas. So
and you're not letting him go more than a week again for the next, like, you're gonna get 3 or 4 starts out of him here to stay fresh and keep Jeremy fresh as well.
All right. My not former NHL goalie analyst eye. Okay. Thing I like the most. And again, I like when you tell me you shut up, Jaffe, or you don't know what you're talking about. What I liked the most about his game tonight was how he came out. They got some big boys up front, especially in the top 2 lines for the Penguins, and they were regularly parking 2 guys within 6 feet of the net. Razor, okay, part of their game. Dan Muse coaches aggressive, get after it, not overly physical, but body, middle of the ice hockey, both in the D zone and the O zone. Okay. I thought there were a ton of bodies in front of him. I thought his ability to get to the top of the crease was excellent in this game. I felt I noticed it a lot. You can tell me if that I'm full of it, which I probably am, or not. That's what I thought I liked the most about his game, how he fought for his ice, but yet it wasn't too far, and how his set was great coming out to that top of the blue paint in this one.
He did. He fought for his ice. He battled. He competes every night. He battles and he competes, and the teammates love him for that. And he read the high tips well. He read the tips in front well. He was a 2 or 3 of those. He did a good job tracking through the traffic. And then, like you said, he was at top of his crease, right underneath the screens, where a few times he just got hit with it. He didn't see anything, had no idea where it was, but he played big, stayed big, and because of his depth, like you mentioned, he was able to get pieces of a couple of those.
All right, we'll give him the spark of the game, presented by Sparks Hockey. Check out the finest at-home skate sharpener you can get, folks. You can also customize it with your NHL logo that you prefer. So if you love the Bruins, get the Bruins logo and put it on it. They've got so many different rings, so many different ways you can fix up your skates using the Spark Sharpener. Check out the Samurai piece of equipment too at D-Burr. SparksHockey.com brings you the spark of the game. And I will get specific. The save off of the Crosby backhand. What was that? In the second period.
Late second
period. As he lunged over to his left with his glove was awesome. So Sparks Hockey, thank you to them for providing the spark of the game. Love the way that he came over on that one. Arvidsson provided a spark too, but we already talked about his goal. But the spark we will give it to Korpisalo. Let's talk about the importance of getting this team now into a spot. Again, after being down on they had a bad homestand, they go on the road. It's okay at best. I know the record was 2-2, and we've already talked about that a couple of times. I didn't love the end at all. I really that Seattle game still bothers me a bit. But now they've gotten themselves again back into, I guess, the legit, hey, we're right there spot. They're Tampa again continues to separate themselves. I mean, if this team is going to make the playoffs, to me, Razor, it feels like 7-8 spot if they are going to make it at best. Still a lot of hockey to go, but just the importance with, we always talk about after, March, but with the Olympic break coming up, being right there, we're 2 weeks away from it right now, being right there, and being able to do it against, again, 2 teams, one, I guess you're above in the Rangers, but one that you're trailing in the Penguins. Now, if they can do it against the Detroit Red Wings, all of a sudden they're going to be like, guys, we had a rough stretch, but we're legitimately right back in it again. And again, I guess that's the violent mood swing that this NHL season is.
No, that's exactly what the season's doing. And there are just so many games. It's happening so fast. You don't get to marinate in anything or any idea that you have about a team one way or the other. It's and no question. So, even now Montreal's 4 points back. So, and they're in third place. We both agree that we think Tampa is better, but they have the couple games in hand, and Detroit's right there as well. You win Tuesday night, you're 4 points behind Detroit, who's first place in the division. So it's still gonna shake and rattle pretty quickly and pretty easily. And I think to your point on the mindset, that's important. And will feel good for this group in the next 11 games before they go away on vacation.
What did you think? Well, let's do this. Let's do our sponsors real quick, and then I want to talk about a couple of things. One of them being Jonathan Aspirot. I want to talk to you about a couple of other guys too, because we've got to get to. Let's do our sponsors though quickly here, and thank them and tell you about Sunset Lake CBD. We're going to start with them. Whether it is their sleep gummies, their good night gummies, they got vibe gummies too that really work, or their sour bears, which just overall give you a nice little, just relaxation. They've got some great gummies, great tinctures. They also have sticks that you can use. Arnica, CBD, hemp, salve. It's all these things that you work on your joints, your muscles. They don't, you worked out hard, you skated a lot, you're not feeling so great. Trust us, folks. I mean, listen, you can call them, you can talk, they'll talk to you forever. about different products, call them up. They make all of their stuff in their Northern Vermont farm, all natural products. They'll ship them right to your door. So skip going to a dispensary. They'll ship them right to what you need, or right to home. I mean, whatever you need. Use the code BRU20. Get 20% off all the website. This is awesome stuff. Little things, I don't know if you're a little uptight, try it. I mean, they've got
Dry January. You're using Dry January. This is a perfect place to go. Perfect.
It is. You bring that up. And I know that you'll use some of the different gummies and just this time. I mean, listen, try the different things. I'll be honest. At first, when we started using them, I wasn't sure. Next thing I know, I'm sleeping better. And every once in a while, I'm a type A, man. I don't know about you. You're not a type A. I'm a type A. I get all worked up about so much crap. Anyway, so I'll take a little here or there. It works so well for me. So many different products. Check out sunsetlakecbd.com. Use the code BRU20, 20% off. If you're looking, buying a new car. Here, I got a suggestion. First of all, if you're looking for a new or used car, go to Copeland Automotive Group. All right, that's easy. Maybe you take a gummy before you go there too, because
I was going to say, you don't have to when you go to Copeland.
That's my point, though.
But everywhere else, if you had to go to any other place, I'd be taking a CBD. I was going to Sunset Lake before I went to the dealership. That's why I love Copeland.
Or you take a gummy, you go into Copeland, you have an even better time.
Yeah, enjoy a couple coffees, just hang out in the waiting room.
GarlandCopeland.com, 5 different dealerships, 3 different brands, Toyota, Chevrolet, and Subaru. They've got all stuff. Check out countoncopeland.com. I guess buying a new car on a gummy could be fun. Just don't take it for a test drive if it's not going well. Please. But check it out. Todd Copeland and all of his people that work for him and with him bring the best energy and the best place to go buy a car. Razor has gotten his last 3 cars there. Who doesn't want to count on Copeland? Love Todd Copeland, his family, and what they've done. He's grown so much, this family business over the years, and they treat you the right way. They bring great products for you. Countoncopeland.com. And as Razor likes to say, they're always happy to talk hockey. And hey, right now the Bruins hockey again, it's back on the uptick. Go there and go talk to them. And if you need a good coffee, go find yourself a Fazenda. FazendaCoffee.com/morning brew. Check out all the different blends and roasts and whole bean or ground. They'll do whatever you want. Fazenda Coffee, FAZENDA.com/morning brew. Morning brew blend, morning brew hats, and a couple of clean canteens left. Although I should probably check on that. They may be sold out on those right now. You can find Fazenda all over, wholesale and some retail as well. Whole Foods has Fazenda there. Thanks to all of them. All right, Jonathan Aspirot signed a nice contract in the sense of, we thought they'd get this done. We hoped they would get it done, but truthfully, we didn't know if they'd get it done. And then all of a sudden we get an announcement on a Sunday, and it was signed for 2 more years. Gets a little bit of a bump from what he's making. It is still such a reasonable contract. But for a kid that spent 6 years in the American Hockey League to get this opportunity, Razor, how awesome is that? He has more than earned it.
Oh, it's awesome. This is the best deal. I know the $15 million ones are real sexy, but when a 25-year-old guy who is a free agent, not even drafted, signs a one-way deal, that's really where it warms my heart. So feel great for him. Super excited for him. And I think we're seeing he's improving. He's improving day by day, and he might have a little more ceiling there over the next couple of years to be a real contributor for this group. Marco Sturm thinks so.
Yeah, he does. He believes in him. And you know what? It might sound a little corny, but when you have a coach that believes in you like that, that gives a player so much confidence.
Yes. So
much. And again, I think sometimes we take it for granted. But there are guys, I've talked to a few guys the last few games on the opposing team that, don't always know if the coach believes in them as much. I understand that it's the NHL, and you're not always going to get an arm put around your shoulder, but some guys need that. Some guys just need that little bump. And I don't know if Aspirot does per se, but he knows that Marco Sturm believes in him, and that means a lot. Let me ask you one of these pie in the sky questions here, bud. If, capital I, capital F, the Bruins ever get all their defensemen they have healthy, and I hear Hampus is close. I hear he's skating in maybe a week or so. Okay, that's me guessing, reading between the lines, so to speak. And Jordan Harris is close. I know he's been skating too. He's been. What do you do? Like, what is our ideal top six if everybody's healthy? And I understand we can take the route of, well, maybe it depends on who you're playing, but I mean, that using your lefties for sure, that Zadorov and Lindholm will be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Using your righties, I mean, that McAvoy is there for sure.
Yep.
And then
I would suggest Aspirot as well.
Okay, so
I think he's fourth.
So you would put him at number 4. I was going to say if I took him at number 5, but my question was going to be, do you play him on the left or the right? That's that becomes the question. So I agree with you though that Aspirot would get into my 4 slot.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are your top 4. So now you're talking in no particular order: Peak, Yoki Haru, 2 other righties. Then you're talking Lowry, Koliachonok, right? Who hasn't? He's only played 1-2 games so far.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're really in by no means a quandary, because you could never have enough NHL caliber defensemen on a team.
No.
But is that where you then look to move a guy? Is that where you say, hey, you know what, if maybe do you give Lindholm the second power play and then you look to make more of a defensive pair with your third pair? Do you say, no, we've got a kid who, can sometimes, we saw a couple of games ago, lose a battle in his own zone, but he can do some things offensively. It's a tough decision, one that we haven't had to face basically all year due to the fact that we haven't had anybody healthy all year.
No, exactly. And it will be, well, it'll be an interesting decision for the coaches. It'll be telling, I think, more so. My guess, if I had to guess, my guess would be most of the time they're going to lean to a little more defensively with that third pair. That would be my guess. Mm-hmm. I think, what would be really intriguing is if they kept Aspirot, McAvoy, Yoki Haru, and Zadorov together. Yeah. And then leave Lindholm being the other one who pairs off. So is it Lindholm Peak? When you do that, it sounds pretty good. Again, if you get the type of play that you get from Zadorov and Yoki Haru, that's interesting to me.
Yoki Haru would be a wild card for me there, though. That would be,
again, they've been good, but he's an NHL defenseman. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, he is a wild card. Yeah, I hope that we can have this discussion soon. I hope we can. I'm just trying to. I guess maybe I'm hoping that Lindholm's weak. The fact that he's skating is a comment. Pretty good sign. Mm-hmm. Certainly. So, but he's not in regular practice. They really haven't had much of that since they've been home. So that always says to me, you're out at least another week or so. But let's see. And again, Jordan Harris, player that really, had a lower body injury, the foot or the ankle, and just been out for a while now, but getting closer. And so there you go. And here's a guy that has had a lot of NHL experience too. Where does he fit in? Just some good questions to ask her. So the Bruins now have a game Tuesday. They have a game Thursday, Detroit, and Seattle will the Detroit game, huge. I mean, that's just, where you're at. Last time they played, what was it, 5-4 loss, if I remember correct? Yeah.
In Detroit. Wasn't there. But now the Bruins have won 5 of their last 6 with this victory. They started with the New Year's Eve victory in Edmonton. They won 6-2 there. Then they beat Vancouver, lost to Seattle. Then they beat Calgary, New York, and Pittsburgh. So they're on one of those, again, great runs right now. Let's hope they can continue. If they can continue it against the Detroit Red Wings, it's a big, big, big victory. That would be a very big victory. Detroit plays on Monday night against Carolina. So they're playing back-to-back. So the Bruins get a help. And by the way, Detroit is like Boston. They played a ton of games. Right, they're right at the top there. Yeah. All right. Anything else to get to? Huge victory on Saturday. Huge victory on Sunday again, albeit in very different styles. Anybody else that we should touch on that we haven't? We talked a lot about Fraser Minton lately. We haven't talked about Geeky. I mean, Geeky hasn't been there. Have you ever been in a game where a player had to leave? I mean, I'm trying to remember if I've ever been a part of one before. I don't know if I remember that.
No. Well, the thing, like, people didn't really check their phones back when I played either.
That's a good call.
Different now.
Yeah, I may have one. I'm trying to remember.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I should have one where something happened somewhere along the lines, but I don't recall anything major.
No. The good news is we keep hearing everything's good.
Yeah.
So that's the good news. Thinking of him, thinking of his family, hoping everything remains that way. Cannot say that enough. So hope to see him back very, very soon. That'd be awesome, because I feel like he's close to getting out of the funk that he's been, the goalless streak that he's in. I feel like he's real close to that. You mentioned the fourth line, spectacular the last couple of games. I thought was one of the best forwards they had all night against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was great.
Really, really noticeable. So, all right, great stuff. RC, thanks for putting this together for us. I haven't seen what the Pat score is. I have had it off right now, so time to get, I guess, back to that game. Everybody enjoy the victories, plural, over the weekend. Razor and I'll be back with another new episode in the middle of this week. And don't forget, every Saturday, live 8 to 9. If you don't catch us on EEI, then you can also get it on audio or our YouTube channel as well. And then now we're also being replayed, we'll call it a quasi simulcast on Nesson on Saturday evenings. 5, 6 o'clock. Well, depends on what time game is at, but either 5 or 6 o'clock. All right, everybody, enjoy the victories and enjoy your coffee.